Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Don.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. I've come, it's cold and losing my control. The night.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of Native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
I had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" He yelled. Reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Dun, dun, dun. Welcome, everyone, to UFO Undercover. I hope you really are having a great morning, great evening, great afternoon, wherever you are on our big, beautiful blue planet that we all like to call Happy Earth. Yes. You know, Earth with like happy little things, little daisies and flowers and stuff. Yes. Roses and things like that, all smelling, all lovely. And
all duckies and bunnies and shit, too. Ew.
Yeah, that's right. All the good fuzzy wuzzy stuff. What do you mean Easter? Easter's a long ways away. Did you ever posted that stupid shit? Yeah, no, Easter's like
further away than Christmas at this point.
It's like down the highway. Yeah, Heidi always loved Six Gun Joe. I remember my very first coast to coast appearance. George goes, "Can we play it?" I'm like, "Sure, you can play it." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead. I'm sure the guy who wrote it will get a kick out of it." And he stayed up because he was in England. I think it was like, I don't know. I think it was 6 a.m. for him because I was on at midnight till 4 a.m. Yeah, I liked it better when you got to do all 4 hours. Coast to coast, to me, doing 2 hours isn't worth going. Nah, it's not, because it's not 2 hours. It's like, and it comes out to about an hour is what it comes out to be.
Mhm.
It really broke
Commercials and
out. Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Well, they do the preamble, so you come in, and George talks for 3 or 4 minutes, and then there's like 5 minutes worth of commercials. Then you come back, and you go all just before the bottom now, and they take like 8 minutes, and then they come back, and about 14 minutes after, take another break, like the middle break, and then they take the top of the hour break.
You know why they take 8 minutes?
I have no idea. Never asked.
It takes you about that time, and it's different per station. The break is 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes. That's how much time it takes for them to take their gear off, get to the bathroom, and get back before the commercial is over.
No, they can do extended breaks. I mean, no, they for that kind of stuff you can do an extended.
Well,
break.
they have an engineer that watches. They can play like automatic music and stuff by you know. So it's more than 8 minutes. I mean, they get like 8 minutes of commercial time.
But so if
they could end that commercial time right away with a song, and then that song is another 5 minutes. So then now your 8 minutes is now 13. So you can go and take a poop.
So when you so anyway, when you're on coast to coast, hey Lee, how you doing, sweetie? When you're on coast to coast, it's you come in, like I said, so you're already, by the time you're at the 30-minute thing, you've split the time 15 minutes. You've talked 15 minutes, they've talked. And remember, not all the time you're talking, sometimes he's talking. So you're not even
he is kind of long-winded.
George and I get along pretty good, and he lets me talk. I will say this: the very first time I ever went on, not only did he let me talk, he let me plug the. We had like 10 minutes before we went to the third hour break before we came back for Q&A. He says, "You know what, Joe? Why don't you just go ahead and plug all your stuff?" I'm like, "You shitting me, right?" He said, "No, so man, look, don't tell Joe to plug. Joe plugged away for 10 minutes, and it helped. I mean, we got like 660,000 plays off of that, so." I wasn't hating. It was a good gig, and George did me good, and when I was in DC, did me good. I mean, I've been on his show 4 times. 3 of which, well, one of them, no, actually 2 of them, I was on with other people though, which made it more fun. I gotta tell you, one of the funnest radio shows I ever did was way back in the early days. It was me and 3 other iCard directors, DeAndrew, November Hanson, Jason Wilson, and myself were invited to this redneck bumpkin FM radio station, religious radio station, like way out in the Boone Sticky Dockers, right? So they invited us to come on and talk about UFOs and aliens. So we couldn't resist, man. We had to go, but it was fair. I mean, I got to give the guys credit. They did their homework. They were sort of ready. They weren't ready for me, but they were sort of ready, and they did a good job trying to defend what they believed, and they weren't rude or nasty about it. And when I finally just said, "Well, look," I said, "you should never limit the creator because you can burn in hell for that." She said, "What do you mean limit the creator?" I said, "You're saying that God only created us. How do you know that? How do you know we're not just one of many creations?" I said, "When you say that, you're saying that he can't create anything but us. Like we were the final product." And I said, "My friend, don't take this the wrong way, but I don't think we're the final product. I think we somewhere in the fucking middle somewhere, man."
Vision that was created. No.
That's why every once in a while you send somebody back to take a look.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's an unusual phenomenon. A lot of religious people, regardless of the religion, they're steadfast to believe right away in their, imagined, invisible, fictional God, and the God of all of the religions is a fictional being. Believe me, people, what you believe, you think is a God, is humans' fictional depiction that they wrote down, 2,225 years ago. Okay. So all these stories they're 2,000 years old, written by, primitive people. People didn't have the same type of history and knowledge we know. But yet they think that this vision of God is for real. But they won't believe the fact that there's a possibility of, a naturally occurring alien species on a planet 20 light years away. I mean, it's the bizarrest. I don't know where the schism is, but it's I guess it's still the schism between science and religion, because you have to have, I guess, a scientific mind to think outside the box, to think, oh yeah, well, we can't possibly, mathematically, we cannot be the only living planet in this galaxy, and by extension,
Sorry about that.
Oh Jesus! Hey, Leah, quick, call Linda. He's duplicated again, will ya? She got to go in there and pop him in the forehead so he goes back to 1.
What did you do?
He got bifurcated. It's a side effect of the alien probes.
Yes, it's I mean, wrong show. I like that. Not allowed to use those fingers here. No, but that's not what this is for. Let me turn this thing off. I was actually here looking for something for somebody else. Yes.
Are we having a guest on tonight?
Not tonight, but Saturday. No, but tonight's just about our fellow Draxian Elon Musk.
Michael Lonsdale, our modern day Michael Lonsdale. He's the man who played Drax in the original James Bond Moonraker.
Yes, people, you want to see what Elon Musk is up to? Go watch. Moonraker. Oh, yes.
Well, I think, in fact, he is actually closer to his goal than Drax was to his.
I don't know. Drax is pretty damn close, man. It was about it wouldn't have been for
well, I mean, they kind of had to fit it within the parameters of the movie, but thinking about the size of the planet, I don't think in the movie they had enough satellites with Drax's idea to kill the planet. But I don't know. What do I know? I know shit about satellites. But the parallels are, besides the fact that we haven't had the, MI6 come in and, assassinate the poor fellow, he's pretty close to the real McCoy.
It is very strange. He, what worries me is I really think it's going to be, oh, wait, this is like some Halloween lighting going on here. What the hell is this? What the hell? His son really is one that scares me, little X Drax to X. I don't know, but it's very strange that, what's going on here? There we go. That's just what the hell? Okay, guys, sorry, we had to get rid of that light. It was bugging me.
Tonight's the brightest full moon of the year.
Yes, I know. It was actually this morning.
Moon. Yeah,
it was this morning, and I was out watching it because I'm good like that kind of stuff. Yes, I was looking at it because I have a bayou in my backyard, and I like to watch it reflect off the water. No, Jeffrey. Actually, we really are here to talk about Elon tonight. We just been messing around, but y'all know Leah. Yes, Leah.
Well, so okay, why don't we start with a quick overview of Elon? Elon Musk is 54 years old, born June 28th, 1971. His net worth is $497.4 billion. That's with a B, billion US dollars. His full name is Elon Reeve Musk.
I was just reading up on how much money he makes per second, literally just like a couple hours ago. And because of the fluctuations of the stock market, he can be as close to as little as $3,000 per second and as much as $46,000 per second.
Wow.
Wait till he gets into the asteroid belt. He's gonna make.
Wait till he lands on Mars and gets a steady flow going.
He makes as much in 1 second as more than the majority of people make per year in the United States.
Oh, Elon, we love you, baby. You need to come adopt. Yes, he could be like little X Junior or something. Yes, you have to bring Leah with you. She can just let you adopt her kid without her coming along, right?
Imagine earning $3,000 a second.
And that's
$46,000. I mean, per second. That's like when you're asleep. That's
no one on this planet could afford you for a speaking gig.
Yeah.
No one could afford you for a speaking gig. Even if it was a second long, they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, it's $100,000.
But the thing is he doesn't actually have capital. Like, he doesn't have like cash money. It's all in his investments and in the corporations that he has stock in, basically.
Well, he has some cash. I think last time I had looked, it was like 44 billion or 34 billion in equitable cash. But everything else is, you're right,
still more than enough.
Yeah, everything else is an investment, and everything else is an investment, And with those investments, like look at Tesla, when they were burning Tesla, he lost $200 billion. Now he made it back, but still he lost that for a while. But, Elon.
What I don't understand is why is it I don't know, like, it seems like the quality of most everything commerce-wise, food, furniture, automobiles, housing developments, clothing, everything that you can think of that people need to purchase to live on a daily basis. The quality of it all has gone down significantly just since I can remember, just since I was a kid. But it's twice as expensive. The sizes of everything has gone down. I went and bought a couple bars of Dove soap because it had been a while since I had used Dove soap, and I remembered loving it so much. I went and got a couple, took it out of the box, and I'm like, this isn't even half the size of what I remember it being.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Oh, yeah,
As
you're right
a
about
kid,
that.
the Twinkies that we had as a kid, and I was kind of a fat kid. I couldn't down more than 2 of them in a row. I would be full with 2 Twinkies. Now they were like this. Nowadays they're like this, and they used to have 3 puncture holes where they put the cream into. Now I think they only have 2 because they shortened them, and they're not as wide either. So yeah, the portion sizes of everything have gone down significantly, including the Big Mac patty, the quarter pounder with cheese, burger patties, all of that stuff has reduced in size by like 25% over the last 40 years.
So all these companies that are just worried about profits and yearly revenue increase, they've got enough money to increase their profits for their CEOs by millions, if not billions of dollars per year. But the quality of everything has to go down in order to make sure that they have like their 4th yacht or something.
But the way the amounts that they pay their wages, they pay their people that run those facilities making the cheaper products, they're paying them less. So they don't.
Yep.
The profits aren't reflected back into the company. They're absconded by a good CEO, someone who's rich enough that doesn't need the job, that doesn't need to be paid. Their salary should go and be part of the hourly workers, yearly wage increases. Think about that. If you have a CEO that makes $100,000 a year, you got 10 employees, and you need to give each of those employees a $10 raise, there's your budget for that right there. Boom.
The quality of the products that are being made get better because people are having more pride in their jobs.
They give a shit afterwards. Yes, exactly right. They will give a shit about their product because they're being paid to actually care. You pay someone $7 an hour to do something that a skilled labor job that anyone else would be making $17, $18, $20 an hour, and you only pay them $7. Of course, the product quality is going to go down because you're going to overwork them. They're going to be working 10, 12-hour shifts, 3-4 days a week. Okay, yeah, all right. They might have a 3-day or a 4-day weekend. Okay, fantastic. But they're going to be overworked. They're going to be underappreciated, overly stressed. They're probably going to drink themselves to death in those 4 or 3-day weekends that they have. And then when they show up on their next 6 a.m. shift, they're going to reek and smell of alcohol, and they're going to be hungover as hell. And the product quality again dips and dips each ongoing week and month. Every time they don't get a raise, that product quality goes down.
As long as I'm stuck on this planet and I don't actually get to hop on board 3i Atlas or whatever the heck it is that's floating around the solar system right now.
Oh, he's not floating. He's taking off.
It would be nice. It would be nice to feel like as long as I'm stuck here on this planet, I have just as much of a opportunity to go on vacations and have a savings account, like be able to invest in my future and my child's future and have some type of generational wealth to pass down to him, which all of that feels so out of bounds for me, like out of reach. It's just not part of my reality, and it feels like it never will be because I don't know people in high places. I don't rub shoulders with executives or people that own businesses, and so it's not that I'm bitter or jealous of people that do, but I would love to know what it's like. I would love to feel like I have the chance to do that, and to me it feels like it is purposefully out of reach. Like I'll never be able to obtain profitable life.
Well, I mean, if you have a defeatist attitude, that's going to happen. So if you got to change your script, say, yeah, I can eventually do that. It is possible. It is a thing to do, but it's hard work, but it shouldn't be hard work. Elon came up from nothing, and now he's worth nearly $500 billion. So I mean,
Elon did not come up from nothing. He was raised in apartheid South Africa by super rich parents.
No, I thought he came up from poverty, but in any event, he did still work hard to make what he's making. You don't just become $500 billion in net worth sitting on your ass. So he did something to get that. He had to work hard for it. What really is the problem is that the nuclear family was destroyed at the end of World War II, and you were talking about generational wealth. All of that generational wealth kind of stuff began dying in the 50s and 60s and 70s after World War II. When the nuclear families began to break down, you had a higher divorce rate.
Well, I've got cousins, people that are in my generation that I know experienced that life because of whatever life their parents led. And, I don't want to blame all of where I'm at on my childhood, but there was so much that I wasn't taught or even that I was ever even introduced to because of what kind of childhood that I had. So, it was really natural for me to have a very fantastical mindset and think about things otherworldly meaning like outer space stuff and whatnot, because my reality was so dark and traumatic. And coming up as a child from that kind of upbringing, I just don't have that hope for my future because it was never instilled in me,
Well,
so I don't know. I just look at it differently, I guess.
It's still achievable, but I still think the effects that you're talking about isn't just happening to you. It's happened to a lot of people of the same generations. And again, I think it's due to the fact that the nuclear family has broken down. I don't know what Elon Musk's family was growing up. Mine seemed kind of normal.
Apartheid South Africa.
You look back, it actually may not have been. But I mean, how many kids with your father? They wanted the kids in the neighborhood want to know what your dad does. You're like, I don't know. It's all top secret. I can't tell you. He won't tell me what he does. I don't know.
Elon Musk's childhood is no secret. It's no undercover kind of story. It's well known that they come from a wealthy family where they had a lot of white privilege in a segregated town where segregation didn't end until the apartheid in South Africa ended. And it's still really prevalent. Same with Peter Thiel. He and Elon Musk were both from apartheid South Africa with Germanic roots where, I don't want to go as far as to say SS or Nazi, but there's a lot of ties into that when it comes to at least Peter Thiel. And they live very privileged lifestyles. Elon Musk's father was not a good man. And there's a lot of news about him SAing his own children, like his own daughters, his stepdaughters. And, that's Elon Musk's father. And they might not have the greatest relationship, but it was very close to home, him being raised around a lot of unhealthy habits. Unhealthy mindsets.
Now I'm gonna have to make you have to say the truth now.
That is the truth.
No,
he said it.
No.
Elon Musk's father said it himself.
Okay, first off, Elon Musk's father, everything you hear about him is pretty much a lie. He didn't own an emerald mine. He worked at one, but he didn't own one.
I never said he did.
No, but that's where everybody said he got his money from. That's where Elon got his money from. But they didn't have the money that people think they had right off the bat. They weren't a super rich family, and his father didn't like Elon. He did like his brothers, but he didn't like Elon. Period. Elon spent most of his time with his mother. That's who pretty much raised him, with his mom, who, by the way, unfortunately is a little strange. She's definitely a little on the
okay. So
So, but that's the problem with people, man. You got to get to the facts. You can't buy the Hollywood version or the MSNBC version because none of that's true. The man, by anybody's definition, is brilliant beyond brilliant. You don't own companies like he does. And there's a reason to his madness. And see, that's what bothers me most about Americans today. For that matter, anybody in the world. That's one of the reasons I did this show tonight, is because people don't really know what Elon's doing. They have no idea what Elon is up to. Not even this much. I listen to people. I watch newscasters. They talk about Elon. They think he's doing this. They think he's doing that. So, wait, where did I put it? So, his companies are very selective in what he does. He's kind of funny about how he started. We all know he started with PayPal.
He's also playing with a very, very advanced, highly volatile technology, which could be turned around and bastardized into a very dreadful weapon. In fact,
is it true? Yes or no?
Were developed from weapons that we got from the Germans after World War II. I mean, the V2 rockets that what's his name, Warner von Braun was shooting over the peninsula into England. Those were turned into Saturn V rockets and launched us to the moon. And that's exactly what Elon is playing with. He's playing with the next generation Saturn V rocket type of propulsion systems. And he's advancing them. He's making them better. He's making them faster, stronger, more efficient. And he could easily pervert that into several seriously badass weapons and take over the Earth and Mars very, very quickly. And who's watching him? Is there a gauge? Is there anyone keeping an eye on what he is actually doing?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on what he's doing. Everybody should be keeping an eye on what he's doing. I mean, look at PayPal.
So talking about some of his creations, one of the creations.
Wait, no, stop. We're gonna start from the bottom and work our way up. That's what the show is about, as how Elon is where he is and what Elon's doing. And you can't do it if you don't do it in order. So we all know he started with PayPal. That's who bought out. Well, actually, he didn't buy him out. He merged PayPal with what was called.
With who?
X.com.
With Peter Thiel.
No. Okay. Elon owned X.com. It was another kind of company. He merged that company with PayPal and took PayPal over. It wasn't a hostile takeover. He just took it over, and then it became a Fortune 500 company. And then, of course, he added nearly 73 million new accounts like overnight. I mean, the man was crazy. And then he opens a company called Solar City. Have y'all heard of Solar City before?
No. Yeah. But the unique thing about PayPal, though, is at one point it was an exclusive purchasing unit for eBay, and only for eBay. Now you can use it across almost every.
Oh yeah, you can use it on anything.
Shopping platform there is. Amazon, grocery store, almost everywhere you can use it. So it's a fantastic. I guess it was one of the first non-bank.
That's what it was.
Money moving systems. Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually designed originally so you could transfer money without having to go through banks or going to the bank. That's what it was actually.
Or putting your credit card information on the internet.
Yeah.
And subjecting it to stealing and theft, identity theft, and that kind of thing. It's a brilliant idea.
So anyway, he did the Solar City company. It focused on door-to-door sales, stuff like that. So he started putting solar stuff all over the place. By I think it was $2.6 billion he spent. I guess he was just testing stuff, giving stuff to people so he could test it. And so he's building this now. We know what Tesla is. We also know Tesla they build their own generation stations for Tesla. Mm-hmm. So they're showing you how to generate power, how to take power, you can directly hook everything together, how your solar power can run your house, your car, and everything else. And they're not using these little chicken shit panels like you see at places. These are serious panels. They're doing that solar system. But following solar system was Tesla, which was a major breakthrough. Not just people always say, oh, it's because it's an electric car. Yeah, electric car was cool, but we've been having electric cars since like 1940.
Even before that, I think the first electric car was made in like 1980 or 1889.
We've had them for a long time. So it's just we chose to use gas because we just like the booming gas. That's all. Even though technically you can make electric faster than gas, but regardless.
Here we go. 1888. I was off by 1 year. In 1888, the German Andreas Flocken designed the Flocken Elektrowagen, regarded by some as the first real electric car. 1888.
So he built Solar System, then he built Tesla. So Tesla it's not just about electric cars, it's about electric vehicles, but more than that, is about self-driving autonomous vehicles and also self-charging autonomous vehicles. So he's really into this stuff, right? I mean, he's like, wow, everybody's like, he's saving the world. And then next company was OpenAI. He said,
well, before we do OpenAI, let's go back to Tesla for a second and the auto drive cars. There is a story going around, and I don't think it was a Tesla. It was another. It was one of the auto drive companies, not Tesla, but it was an electric car, and it was. I don't know if it had passengers or not, but it was in either a mall or a grocery store parking lot, and there was a beloved, I guess, outdoor cat that I think it was called Bodega Cat, and this cat hung out by the different bodegas there, the street shops, and was very loved by the people who passed by and the shop owners, etc. And this auto car ran it over and killed it. So what's the point of having an auto drive system, even if Elon Musk is designing it, if it can't recognize when there's something alive that close to the vehicle that can be killed by a wheel? And that could have been a 3-year-old child that had crawled out underneath and not been detected by. So
that's why it's called testing.
Huh?
That's why it's called testing. And that's not even the worst of it. They had one of them take off, one in California. Tesla took off, jumped up to 80 miles an hour, hit a thing, flipped over, killed like 4 people. You're going to have these kind of accidents, but you're not seeing them anymore. You were seeing them in the beginning, but you're not with Tesla. You're seeing them with other companies now. Tesla seems to be through that phase. And it's more than just
like I said, it was one of the other car companies that does the auto drive system. But you know what? Everyone's like appalled at this. There's no recompense, nothing that they can do to the company for killing this poor animal.
Oh, yes, there is. Well, no, they could sue, but they probably wouldn't be worth it.
It's probably not worth it. But I mean, the thing is that it just seems very dangerous. And a cat
it's going to be dangerous.
It's about roughly the same size as a toddler or a newborn baby that's maybe 6 months old, still crawling. That could have been that. Actually, that's easily could have been what happened.
And Google's actually put out alerts that you should always be self-aware of any self-driving vehicles around you. They're all over in LA. They're all over in Phoenix. I mean, they're everywhere. And in LA, it's even worse because it's not just self-driving taxi cabs. They got little buggy things running around like something lost in space, delivering shit to people. You could be sitting in a restaurant eating and order something, have it delivered to you at the restaurant while you're eating.
If they don't make that stupid noise, that noise, and they don't fold up into a suitcase, I ain't getting on one of those damn things.
And you don't get on them. They're just driving stuff around, delivering to you. And it's funny because we were staying there. John and I were sitting in a restaurant eating, and we watched this one. It came across, made it across Sunset Boulevard. It gets over there. I mean Hollywood Boulevard. It gets over there, and it gets where the little road corners meet. There's a bunch of people going everywhere. This thing's like going forward, going back, over. It didn't know what the hell to do with it.
Oh yeah, we where I worked, we had robots that people would pick for. The robot had two shelves on it, and they put 3, 4, 5, 6, different size boxes on it for the various products for each order. And the robot would go to the area where the first box item was, and someone would come by and grab that item, put it in that box, and type some things and hit it with a key, and it would go to the next spot. But there would be places where the robots would come together, and they do this for like a couple of seconds. Then one of them, they'll go like that. If there's like 3 of them, they'll go. It's just walking around it, it's like sometimes there's 4, 5, 6, 7 of them sitting there going because they can't see a safe way to move until the first one gets out of the way. So you have to stand there for like 5 minutes like an idiot, or you have to walk an extra 5 miles to get to your area. They're the worst things. And just wait until they start putting AI on these things.
But still,
they're already dangerous.
This is also part of the program, though. This is all just part of the program. All of this is going to be put to use. So people talk about, Elon's building all these robots. What is he going to do with them all? I'll tell you.
He's not the only one. There's lots of other companies.
But Elon has plans for his robots. See, everything we've talked about so far, every company we've talked about, there's a reason why they exist. They're contributing to a goal.
They're all part of the Mars project, obviously.
Did you know that there's a robot out? I just watched a video on this today about a robot. I think it's Neo is the name of it, and it's all like covered in like a cloth to make it look soft and like, not so like mechanical, more inviting. It is manned by a human being on the other side of the planet wearing VR. It's a household robot that will do chores for you, vacuum your house, put your groceries away, serve you dinner. But in reality, it's a human being. The person who is on the other end of that is a real human being wearing a VR set that's been given full access to your home. who
No.
knows all of your habits, who knows all of your different codes to get in and out of anything that has to do with your private space. And basically that's just the beginning. Jobs, gas station jobs, fast food worker jobs, like hotel housekeeping jobs, all of that's going to be outsourced. Jobs are just going to be outsourced to people that are willing to work for 4 cents an hour and can wear a VR headset.
Well, nobody's working for 4 cents an hour. Be lucky if it's not $40.
Not in the United States, not here, but yeah, it started out. It started out with people in other third world countries being given jobs for as little as 4 cents an hour to beta test VR headsets that were being used to.
I don't know who they get to do that, because everybody on the planet's greedy. And people always talk about, oh, Mexicans and South Americans come here and they work cheap. Bullshit, they do not. The only difference between hiring a Mexican and hiring a regular contractors is they're not going to have insurance. But they're going to charge you $25, $35, $40 an hour. They're not going to do it cheap. It's just, I don't even know where people come up with that. And in India right now, just for answering phones in India right now, American phone calls in India right now, you can get between $3 and $9 an hour, depending on what kind of
Okay,
calls.
maybe it was $4 an hour. Maybe it was $4 an hour.
Yeah,
it was $4 something an hour.
Yeah, but when
still,
those countries
can you
$4
imagine
an hour,
people buying?
But their Cokes are 5 cents. Ours are $3.
But
Think
it's
about it.
okay. Still, even that though, like the fact that there's going to be people here who have built their lives around certain jobs, whether or not it's making pizza or driving people around or whatever kind of service job you have.
Don't worry about that, because
it's gonna be there's gonna come a time where there's a really strong reality that your job will be replaced by a robot, and not even a real robot, some other human being on the other part of the planet wearing a VR headset.
So I've been in several robotic convenience stores and restaurants. That's what's coming. You ain't gonna have to worry about other people having access, because everything is that's the way it's going.
And to her point, she's right about certain things. There are certain jobs that are going by the wayside, but certain union jobs where they've invoked robotic components, if you will, like the car processing plants. Every one of those robot machines is now operated by one of the former workers who did that same job. And all they do is they monitor that robot to make sure it's doing the job correctly. That robot's going to go and put that nut on that same spot every time. But eventually, it's going to get out of alignment.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
But
I'm talking about.
I'm saying not all of the jobs are going to go to robots. There are already a lot of jobs out there run by robots now. But the person who used to do that job now monitors that robot and keeps it in check and alignment so that it doesn't go out. Because eventually, it's going to stop. Hitting that nut exactly.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about jobs being done for real, but via virtual reality headsets. It looks like a robot to the people in the house that are getting their groceries put away. It looks like a robot to the kid who's getting its bed made by a robot. But somewhere on the other side of the planet is a real human being doing that job that is getting paid significantly less than a human being would here.
Yeah, well, see, even so, if they're doing that, eventually that's going to go away. Eventually, that robot.
All that is training, is what that is for the AI. That's all.
Yeah, eventually that robot's not going to have that person controlling it by virtual reality over the internet. It's going to eventually be programmed, because there's going to be so many humans who have made the robot move in this way and done this task or that task or what have you. Eventually, that will become programming. And then the robots will become autonomous. Now, again, that still doesn't mean that the people who make those kind of robots aren't going to put like video cameras and stuff that upload video, secretly somewhere else. But the thing is that you are talking about jobs going by and becoming done by robots only. We're already past that. We're already doing that, and eventually there's going to be robots that, a robot butler. He does, like you were just saying, minus the virtual reality, but it will also drive your car. Instead of having the autonomous car, and the car may still have autonomous driving capability, but you can program eventually those same kind of virtual robot assistants to be autonomous robot assistants that can drive a car, maybe even fly an airplane or be a co-pilot at least for an airplane. The technology can do all kinds of things for us, make us maybe more lazy. But there are,
I don't know. I just think there's plenty of Black Mirror episodes and Terminator 2 movies that warned us against this kind of stuff, you know?
It's too late. It's already on us.
Well,
you can't stop it now. It's already. If you look on almost every video game now, there's a commercial saying, if you're over 50, start playing with AI right now. It'll make you a millionaire faster than anything that happened in the 80s, 90s, or 2000s.
Why is becoming a millionaire like what people are, being socially programmed to believe is what's important in life?
Because they're not. Most people know they're never going to be a millionaire. It's not that hard, Well, I don't know nowadays at the rate prices are going, a million might be 100,000 soon. But still, most people don't think that. Most people think they're going to live life and do what they're going to do to live life. And if luck or grace or education moves them in the right direction, then that's where they'll go. But it's not always about that. Sometimes it's about other things in life. I got a lot of comfortable friends. We'll just say wealthy friends, and a lot of them are single. And I talk to them all the time. I said, well, you've been chasing the dollar for long. You forgot how to chase a partner. And they're like, and they're happy, but they're also miserable because being single sucks. And almost, oh, well, my friends are single. Oh, no, I don't. I said, why are you always so cranky then? Why are you always so negative? Because all my single friends are negative. All of them. Doesn't matter who they are.
They're afraid to get married and sign they'll only get married if they sign a prenuptial agreement, and they're afraid of getting divorced and their wife taking everything from them.
Well, fortunately, none of my friends are worried about those kind of things.
Well, they're single.
I don't even think they're going to. No, it's not because it's because they get. What happens is the longer you stay single, the longer you get stuck in your ways, and then it becomes a point, and then all of a sudden, before you realize it, you're like 75 and you're alone, and you're like, what the? Nobody you know is even alive. It's just you. The people you did know kind of gave you the finger and went on. So,
or they're dead. Yeah,
or they're dead. So it's always important to realize those things go on because
we're all going to die eventually.
Yeah, but money is
well,
a part of that.
I don't agree with that. We're going to all die eventually. I do believe now every religion has that same.
Jay said
one of the same goals that immortality is an attainable goal. They say even
hell no. That's a nightmare for me. That would be a nightmare scenario. Living forever on this planet. Hell no.
What do you mean you're finally straightening out, girl? What are you talking about? Oh my God.
Me personally, I'd like to stick around for a few million years, to be honest with you. I want to see
you are finally
all of this being over someday. Like knowing that my life will cease to exist and I won't matter, and my impact will be so insignificant that I'll just be a little blip in the universe's
your ass will be back here next time. You just be right back here.
Yeah.
If you don't complete what
you're
here
told,
for,
you just recycled into a new body. And I don't care if that happens either. But I would literally like to stay around a few million years and see where the human race is going. I mean, we're at a point right now where our technology is going to flip. There's going to be a paradigm shift very, very soon in the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years.
That's what they've been saying since 2000.
It's going to be like, trust me, it's going to be like Star Trek. There's so much top secret black project secret access programs that we've had over the last 70 years. You got the people have no idea how advanced we are. The Navy has devices that can kill, an entire pod of whales with one blast. Think about that.
Well, that's sad. That's really sad.
They can let off underwater, and then on the other side of the ocean, hundreds of whales will fly up on the beaches dead.
Whale steak sounds good to me, man. Let's go get some whale steak. All right.
Well,
the fact that that's a fact is sad because that means that they had to test it.
They did test it. They got in trouble for testing it because of all the whales flying up dead on the beaches. You don't remember that? It was about 20 years ago.
That's just sad, man.
No, a lot of that was.
I think it's kind of disgusting that human beings are capable of that kind of carnage and decimation.
Well, I'm quite certainly that the weapon that they used and devised, and it's probably still top secret, was something that was developed by my father or his company.
More than likely, it was.
That's sad. I'm sorry.
They were
It's a sonic
using,
weapon.
yeah, it's a sonic weapon. They were using ultrasonic weapons back then, and
And
they
my
weren't
father's-
deliberately aimed at the whales to kill the whales. They were just testing the damn thing.
Yeah, they weren't deliberately.
Well, that
aiming
makes
at the
it
whales,
even
right,
worse.
It wasn't, the whales just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
So they didn't think about the fact that there's things that live in the ocean when they're testing all these,
No,
weapons.
they didn't know. So the thing is, they didn't realize the scope of the weapon. The weapon is a sonic device, and what they were aiming at, that whatever their target was probably instantly destroyed. However, it doesn't stop the sound waves. The sound waves actually traveled so far through the ocean that they killed things on the other side of the ocean from where the weapon was let off. So it wasn't like they were even in the near vicinity. They were thousands of miles away in the same direction that the weapon was fired. That's the thing about it, is that it's a very powerful weapon. That it destroyed whatever their target test object was, and then thousands of miles later, it hit a pot of
It was
whales.
used to burn out electronics and submarines.
And it's also used for that as well. But it's a destructive
But now
weapon.
they have shielding for that crap, so that don't work.
Mhm.
It's one of the things. But anyway, getting back to the original topic, you two, since we're talking about Friday night stuff in here. I know, Glenn, they just both of them. What can I say, man? And I know they don't even, I guess they don't like Elon or something.
It's there's still technologies that are advanced that were similar
I
to what
really
he-
don't. I don't think Elon Musk has actually done anything good. I really don't. Like, I don't think he's done anything good except for rich people. He's
Okay.
not done anything good.
First off,
The planet has free internet because of him.
yeah. So first
We
off,
all still. I pay for internet. I don't know about you guys. Everybody else
Starlink.
in this country pays for internet. Everywhere else,
right now,
they
in the
have
war
Elon.
going
He's
on.
paying- he's
The
paying for
war
internet.
going on. Yeah, well, the war going on in the Ukraine right now. That internet comes from Elon. Starlink's all over the place, and he gives people break. If you're an elderly person on a fixed income, you can get it for half price. He does all kind of shit like that. But God, this is the guy who invented the neurochip that allows paraplegics to be able to surf the internet, run their different things in their home, different appliances, be able to run their wheelchair automatically. I mean, he's
Maybe
doing
someday
things.
you can change my mind about him, but I think that there's something inherently evil about somebody that has billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars.
Why? If he's using it for the betterment of mankind, what the hell?
He's trying to get us
That's what you
to
want
Mars.
somebody to do.
I just don't think it's possible.
First off, he's taking us to Mars and the moon. Do you
He
realize?
probably put in a big chunk of money for the ballroom.
Yeah. Do you realize?
I don't get to see any of that for one. Like, that doesn't affect the little person, like the normal everyday.
What I'm getting ready to say right here,
Think about it like this.
91% of all launches in space are his. If it wouldn't be for him, there would be no satellites that you'd be talking on right now via the internet. He launches 91% of everything, not just here, but on the whole effing planet. If you take China, Russia, India, and America and combine them with all the spacefaring races, he launches more than all of them. Combined, they've launched like 7%. He launches like 91, 92%. There are two little other companies out there that are doing small launches because they used to work for SpaceX, but he controls
His launch crews, I would imagine, Joe, could probably, if let's just say there was an emergency and they had to go up like in 15 minutes or the astronauts are going to die. I bet his is the only flight crew that could get a rocket.
It's the only flight crew that's been in orbit.
I think he's the only one that could do it within that kind of time frame. If there was some sort of emergency, like we had with, it wasn't as much of an emergency, but with those other astronauts that were basically stranded in that Boeing device. So the Boeing device coupled with the space station, they got off, and then the Boeing device flew itself home on remote, and they had to stay up there another 6 months, 7 months, 8 months.
Yeah, they could have came home sooner, but Joe Biden said no.
Yeah, Joe Biden left him up there.
So he did SpaceX's scheduled launch.
He does
but it's more important because he's the guy. He's the one putting your weather satellites up there. He's the one putting your military satellites up there. He's
Those satellites are coming crashing down, leaving all this space debris and all these toxic chemicals flying through the air.
See, he don't do that. That was all going on before him. He actually believes He actually believes in self-destructing satellites, clean satellites. He even had satellites, so it's like a Starlink. Instead of just putting them there like a satellite like everybody else does, he designed them so they can be turned sideways so you cannot see them from the ground. So they're not blocking out the starlight behind
No, but
them.
the ones that are falling through the sky and like, burning through the atmosphere.
You know how much of that stuff actually makes it to the ground? First of all, it's stuff that falls out of the sky rarely hits the ground. There are only 30% of the surface of the Earth is actual dirt. The other 70%
wasn't there one that just landed on a farm in Canada not too long ago?
But most of it,
that was like 2 years ago. But I know what
there's a lot more that falls on this planet every day. There's stuff the size of.
What about all of the toxic chemicals and like heavy metals that are burning to a crisp in the atmosphere through the ozone layer?
There's nothing. No, what are you talking about? The atmosphere, the ozone layer is coming back. It's it's almost.
The ozone layer has been repaired for decades now.
Hey, girl, you got to stop watching them crazy sites.
Yeah, something that falls out of the atmosphere, or out of space into our atmosphere and starts to cook. Even if there are any toxic chemicals on them, they will be eventually pulverized. The temperatures get over 3,000 degrees. That's more than we can create in our ovens down here. It's all the bottom of the space shuttle, when it touches down, is hotter than the surface of the sun when it's on its way down. So, but there's no way that any toxicness is going to come falling out of the sky.
But anyway, getting back to where we were, because now we got less than an hour. I know I'm going to have to put a gag on these two. It's wait, what? That's smart ass. Sorry, I can't repeat that on this show, guys. I would. Oh man, we got some weirdos. But anyway, so where were we? Tesla? Where were we?
Tesla, yeah. Oh no, AI, the AI thing.
Wait, which AI were we? OpenAI.
OpenAI.
Tesla, OpenAI. So we all know about OpenAI. So that started in 2015. OpenAI is doing a lot of good things for a lot of people. I'm not the biggest fan of AI, so I'm once I know for sure that they can keep a kill trip switch in it or something, I'll be okay. But right now, I mean, come on. The first question ever asked to an AI was, "How do you save the planet?" And they said, "Kill all the humans."
Yeah,
that was the first answer. And then the other day, somebody was beating up on one, and the robot attacked him back. So I think we got some issues we need to work on.
Yeah, and well, I mean, the AI issue has been a big debate. I mean, when I first heard of it was in the '90s in video school with Sony at SCAD, and the main concern back then wasn't so much, oh, is it going to attack us? Is it going to go Terminator on us? It was, is it eventually going to infiltrate the entertainment industry and eliminate, film processing and actors and sound design and all the components of people that make up a movie or even a television series? There's a lot of creative, departments behind the cameras that no one knows about, no one sees about. Prop department, costume department, makeup department. All these different components make up a television show /movie. With one sweep of a keystroke, you can make an entire television series with this AI stuff eventually. And that was a huge talk about in Hollywood, 45, 50 years ago.
I think a bigger point is the fact that it takes all these data centers that are utilizing, hundreds of billions of millions, of gallons of water, fresh water needed to cool off all of these computer systems that are being
it depends on the system. So in the old days,
electricity, and it's the human being that is putting the bill on their own. Like we're paying for it. We're paying for the data centers to run.
The companies are paying for the data centers. They're paying for the data centers to run. We're not.
No, there's been several cities who their electricity has gone up because of these data centers.
Yes, and they have to pay the electric bill. Don't wait. So I got two friends that are in Bitcoin. They own mines, Bitcoin mines. One's in Texas. It's about 500,000 square foot mining.
Did you say mine?
Bitmine. Yeah, they're mining. You have to mine Bitcoin to get it.
What?
Yeah, it's a computer's algorithm that you have to mine to get it. It takes a lot of power.
Sounds like a video game. How
yeah,
silly.
Well, it's blockchain is what it is, and it takes a buttload of power, and it really overworks your computers. It's a serious. You have to have special software on there even to do it. It's actually anyway, because I don't want to bore everybody. But anyway,
yeah. No, thank you, please.
So they're in the old days when they first opened up, the place was making about $10,000. I mean, $10 million a month, but they were spending about $8 million, mostly on maintenance and power consumption and water bills. So then I was talking to one of them one day at work, and he said, "Joe, you what do you know about liquid cool?" And I explained to him how liquid cool worked. Well, they converted their whole bill. It cost them, I think he said $6 million, but they converted a whole place. They upped their chip processors, converted everything to liquid cool, and changed the type processors they use, because they didn't realize that processors can use X amount of power. So you can change it. You can use a different type processor with a lower intake on power and a smaller power supply, because you don't need an 800-watt power supply, because you're not doing all that other shit. So you need about a 4 or 5. So when you start thinking about 10,000 or 20,000 computers, 300 or 400 watts per each power supply is a lot of power. So that all comes off your bill. Liquid cool, once it's at a stable temperature, stays at a stable temperature. As long as it's running, it's cooling. So you're cool. Your system's not overheating. Your building's not overheating. Because one of the big problems wasn't just keeping the computer cool. You had to keep the building cool. Because if the building wasn't cool, the computers would get hot and overheat. So all that had to be cool. But now with the liquid cool systems, you don't have to do all of that anymore.
I just watched a video on a data center, an AI data center that just got the permits to get built in Wisconsin next to Lake Michigan. And it's going to be siphoning millions of gallons of water per year from Lake Michigan.
Well, we'll see if they actually let them in the long.
Whose idea was that? A Democrat?
Probably.
I don't know, but I'm sure it was bipartisan.
I doubt it. Bitcoin is kind of split down the thing right now. First, it was the liberals loved it, and the Republicans hated it. And then all of a sudden, when Trump came back, he loved it. So, and now the Democrats hate it too. Whatever it is, the parties, it doesn't matter what goes on in parties anymore, they're always opposite. So it's kind of a moot argument.
Well, I mean, it's at a phase where they're trying nothing but to do everything in their power against anything that Trump wants to accomplish, and that's not politics. That's childish vindictivism.
Yeah. But anyway, getting back to Uncle Elon. Yeah, getting back to my boyfriend Elon.
Mars or bust.
He's because it's important, because most people just don't get it. So the neurochip's an important part of it. It's not just he's going to be sending. He's already said this. He's going to be sending Starlinks over pretty soon.
To Mars.
Yeah, to Mars. They're going to Mars. They're going to the moon too. They're going to go to the moon too. They're going to the moon.
I would imagine they have to put him around the moon first, because that's going to be his jump point to getting.
I think he's going to do them all at the same time, is how he's talking. He's just going to start, because they need to start sending stuff, because they have a planned landing date for Mars. So they need to start getting stuff over there. They got a planned landing date for the Artemis mission on the moon, which is next year, I believe, or on 2027.
Yeah, what the moon landing or the Mars landing is scheduled for 28 or 29.
I think it was 28, but they'll probably bump it back to 29. But still, they may bump back to 30, but it's definitely going no matter what. Now, unless something major happens, they're going. They're going to the moon, and they're going to Mars. And once we're at Mars, we're going to stay there. We're not going to leave. We're going to just start leaving people there. We'll start leaving people
from Mars. The next logical course of action is to put a station in near the largest asteroid that has gold and antimony and plutonium in it, or is it polonium? I forget. It's three. It's plutonium, platinum, titanium, and gold is in this big huge rock. And the rock of the gold part of it is enough to it's more than worth the entire planet, 3 times, 10 times the planet. That's the next logical course, is to get a space station near that and start mining that instantly.
So I was listening to the other day. He's still on the same plan. 100 ships coming and going, and that's his plan. To have stuff going and coming back and forth to Mars. Some of those will be diverted to. They're going to put a little base out in Zone L11, and then because it'll be a good place to launch straight down the solar winds of the solar system. So it's a good place to launch, and we don't have one there right now. We can't launch from there, but we could once we do that. But the moon is a good rehearsal. That's a good way of looking at it. It's a reversal of because Mars is going to be a little different. There's going to be a little more gravity on Mars. There is an atmosphere on Mars. There's
an atmosphere on the moon too, but they're so insignificant. We must wear protective gear.
Yeah, but the atmosphere on the moon is not going to affect you. The atmosphere on Mars can affect you. So I mean, they got tornadoes and shit, and they have drastic
both
temperature
atmospheres
drop.
without a helmet you'll die.
Oh yeah, but the only difference is on the moon you already know it's 245 below, and that's what it's going to be the whole freaking time. It's nighttime for 2 weeks. That's just what it's going to be. On Mars, it's much different. I mean, you can actually even get above freezing on Mars in some places. So, and it could just drop suddenly. You know, boom.
Well, I think that the surface temperature of Mars during the day is like 200 and something degrees, and the overnight temperature is like negative 30 or 40 degrees. It's a dramatic temperature drop between day and night. But part of that is mainly because the atmosphere is so thin.
What's that? What are you talking about, Chris? Oh no. We're talking about Mars. Yeah. Well, Elon wants to go to Mars. It's Elon's whole thing of his existence. Every company he's built was to help him get to Mars. So you heard us talking. He's building all kind of advanced charging systems and he's building, and what do they call it? The dusk to dawn charging system, because Mars has way less sunlight than we do. So he's invented these low light charging systems. Yes, that's not for here. We have lots of light on this planet. I mean, we can use them here, but that's not designed for. That's designed
judging by the night sky of Mars. There was one of the rovers actually took some straight up pictures.
Mars is cold.
There's enough light at night that they should probably. I would imagine you could run a solar calculator on the night side of Mars. It's that bright.
Mars, isn't Mars like freezing cold?
It can
it's like
be,
negative 40 degrees overnight. Yes, you have to. The thinness of the atmosphere. It doesn't matter how cold or how hot it is outside. You'd have to wear an environment suit. You have to wear a space.
Yeah, because of the pressure.
And that's going to have air conditioning and heating in it. You'll have to change it when you flip over to the night side from cold to heat.
Yeah, because the pressure on Mars would kill you right now. Now they can fix the pressure on Mars.
The daytime surface temperature will kill you. It's 213 degrees on the surface. You'll die instantly. Your brain will cook within minutes. Even if the atmosphere didn't make your eyes bulge out and all of your blood vessels burst, you would instantly die because your brain would be cooked by the heat of the atmosphere.
Okay, hold on. Jesse just sent us the.
I don't know. I cooked my brain on some pretty.
All right, here we go.
Chemicals before, so.
Oh well,
temperatures on Mars.
You know what I'm talking about then. But the fact is that that's how hot it is on the surface of Mars. We have fevers when we get sick. If your fever reaches 104 degrees or higher, your brain begins to die. So think about that. You were at 213 degrees. We're 100% above our brain's temperature limit. So it's almost instant death.
Let's see. Meanwhile, the highest temperature on Mars ever recorded was 70 degrees.
Really?
By the way, yes. And then 56 degrees. The lowest temperature recorded was minus 200.
Oh, so I got it backwards. It's negative 200 on the night side and 80 degrees
but it says,
so it's got a lot of radiation. It's high in that. You can fry your nuts off and nuke and gamma radiation.
Its average temperature at night is only 128 degrees minus. Only
on the dark side, yeah. And the highest is only 76 degrees. Wow, I didn't think so. But
yeah, you can get the highest ever recorded was 70 degrees. They said a lot of times in the daytimes you can find places around Mars around 21 degrees Celsius. So you'd have to convert it. Now 21 degrees Celsius is like 50 degrees or something, I think. I remember because they said there was a couple of times they showed where liquid had melted on Mars, which means the temperature had to be above absolute freezing.
Yeah, zero is freezing temperature in Celsius.
Yeah, so
21 degrees is quite warm.
It's just that's just Mars. The pressure on Mars. So right now, the pressure on Mars will kill you. Everything on Mars will actually kill you right now. So the goal is NASA's already talked to this. Elon's actually got a plan for this now. So they want to put chompers over there, self-building chompers. We ain't even going to build them. We're just going to send over the craft with all stuff in them, and the robots are going to put them together. And these things, all they're going to do, they have big, huge buckets on the front of them. They're just going to scoop up dirt and grime and brine and burn it up. And it's going to thicken the atmosphere, and they're going to use that to lower the pressure. You can't going to be able to breathe this shit. but they're going to lower the pressure to a point where you won't have to wear a suit.
Still have to wear oxygen, but
you have to wear oxygen. And I would still imagine I would want some type of protective gear on. It will be warmer though.
Probably a tinfoil suit to keep the radioactive sun waves from
Well, that's the thing. They're saying that you won't have to. They're saying you won't. It'll be above around 60 or 70 degrees, and you won't have to worry about the radiation because the atmosphere will be so thick, it won't be able to get through. They're basically talking about starting a greenhouse effect on Mars, is what they're doing. Because the old days they were just going to light off a nuke at each end and melt the ice caps and start it that way. And then they're like, wait, why are you going to pollute the only known water supply on the planet?
That was just probably
stupid.
Democrats.
Well, now they know there's more water on Mars than they thought, but still, you don't want to go nuking things. People want to live there. We don't want to add more radiation. So that's their first plan. And then after that, they were talking about plants that like high carbon atmospheres that they could start planting them and letting them, because there's some that right now, the problem is if they need to figure out a way to get something like plankton there, because plankton's what creates 80% of oxygen on the planet. So we need something that can produce oxygen at those rates. But if you go in and you start colonizing, you start planting all over, you start closing up caves and mines and stuff and turning those into places to live. Eventually, by the time you'll be planting, it'll take a while, but give it 10,000 years, maybe 1,000 years, it'll have a atmosphere. But the problem with Mars is it can't keep its atmosphere or its water.
Yeah, and listen to the range here. Edom is saying that the temperature ranges from 27 degrees Celsius to negative 133 degrees Celsius.
That sounds about
on the Fahrenheit scale, that's positive 80 to negative 207. So, even if the radiation didn't kill you on the daytime side, as soon as the nighttime temperatures came, without environment control or suits or shelter,
there's no pressure. Yeah, there's very little pressure on Mars. The pressure on Mars is like 1% of Earth's.
So that's what we were just talking about. The chompers, that's what they're for, to raise the pressure on Mars. They've already got a plan to get the pressure on Mars up. They've had it for at least 3 decades, probably 4 decades. It's something they can do. It's not going to be expensive. I mean, everything's going to be expensive sending it to Mars, but once you get established, it's not that expensive. It just sucks it up, burns up the fuel. Then they use the energy to burn the shit up, and they just pump smoke into the atmosphere. They're not going to put one of these machines. They're talking about maybe 100 of these roaming around the planet doing this. And the other side effect to it is there's big, large ponds of brine across the entire planet. So as this thing is sucking up all this debris and burning it out, it'll be liquefying that water and sending it out the other side, removing the salt from it. So
and it's going to take quite a while. The average sea level atmospheric pressure on Earth is 1,013 millibars. On Mars right now, it's an average planet-wide 6 to 7. So just think about the volume to get that up to 1,000 millibars, so you can walk around without your eyes exploding.
It's not as hard as people think.
A long time.
No, it's not, because you can watch a hurricane go.
It's going to take 10, 15, 20 years.
You can watch a hurricane go from 800 millibars to 1,015 millibars in a matter of minutes. I've actually watched it.
That's a localized event, though. That's not sustaining over an entire planet.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. But if you've got 100 machines. If you've got 100 machines doing this, it's not going to take 20 years. The planet's not that big.
How long does Elon think that's going to take? I would say 20 years.
The original estimates before they came up with the chompers was about 80 years to 100 years. The modern brings it anywhere from 5 to 15, depending on the way they go about it.
I said 20 years. Yeah.
So there's 2 other things they talked about doing. Now, whether they do them or not, so they're not sure what exactly the core is in Mars. Yeah, some people say it's crystal, some people say it's a dead iron, but they're talking about bringing 250 megatons and drilling down to the core and igniting them. Anyway, this goes.
What if they make some LiDAR first and find out what it is before they drop? What if they drop a 50 megaton bomb in the core of Mars? It happens to be uranium. They might destroy the entire solar system. It'd be stupid.
Well, no. I mean, no. They think it's a crystal core. They either think it's a core like Earth that just stopped, or they think it's a crystal core. They have a pretty good idea what it is. They just, until they get over there for 100%. But either way, a nuke would work on either core.
But under Velikovsky's theory of how our moon was developed, he proposes that the core of Mars was ejected during the cataclysm that destroyed the fifth planet and put the gouge in the face of Mars and all that kind of thing. So what he speculates is that the core became Earth, and that the ocean eventually, by comet impact later on, dropped the ocean from Mars onto Earth. It's a wacky theory, but right now it's one of the leading theories on how Earth got its water, and the moon, and several other weird.
Yeah, well, it's not how Earth got here. Earth was, well, no, water. Now that we look at the solar system, water is a common thing. So I don't think it's all that mysterious how the water got here, because it's on several other places in this solar system.
Plus, we have a planet that was 5 times the Earth size, destroyed where the asteroid belt is. And then there's all this large, huge chunks of ice. We call them comets, floating around, and their origin is from that orbit.
Somebody said they increased the amount of water, but last I checked, it was about 2.25 inches a year, and we've been collecting water for 4 billion years. So
there's a lot of water ice floating around in our solar system. Yes,
yeah, there's a lot of water all over the place.
Not the Oort cloud notwithstanding, but you think about it. If a planet, 5 times the size of Earth with 5 times the amount of water on it, whether it was briny, salty, or fresh water all the way around the planet. That's billions and billions of decaliters of liquid water in the space near that fifth planet. And where is it going to go? Eventually it's going to hit a planet. Our planet, Mars, maybe it'll hit Venus or Mercury even. So
well, they said Mars had more water than Earth. Actually, they say Mars has more water than Earth. They're not sure that. Originally everybody said the water left Mars because we can't see any. But the rovers have found ice all over the place. So it's looking like maybe the water didn't lose. It just froze. As the atmosphere dissipated, the water just froze.
Well, and which is strange then, because when something freezes, its volume increases. As it melts, its volume decreases. So if it all melted, then it's got to be under the earth.
But it's still the same volume either way. It's like a cup of Coke, and you put ice in it. It's that level when that ice melts, that level is going to be exactly the same.
You're talking about displacement. That's a completely different thing. If you take water and you put it into an ice cube tray, it will expand outside of the tray if you fill it too much, because when things freeze, their volume, the space between molecules actually expands. When you heat it back up, and the molecules start moving fast again, it contracts itself because the molecules go closer together, and therefore it loses mass.
Jeffrey, it's why
that's a known fact of physics.
It's why your concrete cracks in front of your house, especially if you live up north.
Mm-hmm.
Down here, if your concrete cracks, it's because of ground sink. Up north, it's because of the temperature changing,
freezing and heating.
It'll also make doors swell and stuff like that.
And windows.
Yeah. So that's why your windows won't open sometime when your door gets stuck.
Or the door.
The door sometimes they get frozen
in the winter, but when it's summertime, the door will always stick. It won't always latch closed. Yeah, there's that all over the place in the north. Physics, man.
That's what it is, because when temperatures change, that's what happens. And the more extreme and the faster the change, the more extreme the effect is.
Well, and again, getting back to Elon, that's exactly what you've been saying all along.
But think about what Leah was telling you a little while ago about the people working these little robots from the other place. That's going to be perfect for Elon. He can go over and hire 10,000 people in India or Vietnam somewhere and give them jobs running little robots on Mars for him. They can go all over. Do you realize he could drop off 100,000 robots in Mars in no time at all, coming out of a factory? And he could be paying people on his planet to explore the planet for him and to build things for him. He could have a combination.
But why is it always some other third world country? Why is it always people that will accept the most minimal pay? Why won't they offer jobs?
Do it. They'll offer it here too, but there's not enough of us. There's not enough.
Pay me $50 an hour. I'll do it.
Yeah, are you that well in electronics? This isn't going to be an easy job. You're going to have to know a lot of different things to do this. Gamers,
they might even require you to have a doctor's or a nurse's
no,
degree to some degree in case there is a medical emergency. So you can at least the robot should be at least able to apply simple basic first aid. Like if someone were to fall,
I'm a CPR certified, AED certified lifeguard.
None of that's going to matter because it's only going to be robots on Mars. The people are going to be here on the planet, and the robots are going to be on Mars. Yep. They're going to be building shelter for the humans that are coming. They're going to be setting up planning. They're going to be setting up mines. They're going to be setting up all sorts of things. They're going to be setting up the little chomper things. And that's what they're going to be doing. And that way, Elon, once he gets them there, he no longer has to worry about our government, anybody else. He can set his plans in motion without being slowed down by us. Because if it wouldn't be for the U.S. government, Elon would already be a decade further than he is now. NASA just slows him down on this, slows him down on that. That's why China's catching up with him, because NASA keeps, well, I don't know if China will ever catch up with him, but Elon seems to know what they're doing over there, like he knows somebody that works there.
I mean, I hope he knows what he's doing, but I think he's going to need to do get some more resources. Eden says that Earth has vastly more water than Mars. Yeah, even if Mars was completely covered, just so the audience knows, even if Mars was completely covered in water at one time, the whole planet was all water, it would still not equal the whole amount of water on Earth.
I don't agree with you. NASA said that's not true. NASA said there's more water on Mars than there was on Earth.
That can't be true.
And they say quite a bit more. The oceans were way deeper. Think about the Mariana Trench, or just think about the trench on Mars, and think about it being covered in water.
Yeah, it's 13 miles deep, but
yeah, that's one of our oceans.
However,
it's still like one ocean.
Well, listen,
I'm just telling you what they're saying, my friend.
Then their math is wrong and they're lying to you. Mars is 1/5 the size of Earth, and even if it was completely covered in water, we're 70% water. So, and if Earth is 100% water,
but see, that's not really true. Okay, wait, let's stop. Let's stop for a minute. Earth is not actually 70% water. It's covered by water, 70%. It's mainly rock. See, people forget
I'm talking just on the surface.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. This is going by depth.
They just found an ocean underneath the surface, like a bigger, more water than it covers the surface of the Earth.
Yeah, but
it's embedded in the rock.
It's whatever they call it stuff.
It's not. It's embedded in the stone.
You have to crush the
geology. It's not a flowing river or ocean. It's embedded in stone. So it would take too much to get it out. But going on with what Eden is saying, I think the scrubbers that he's going to use to make the atmosphere, they're not going to make enough potable water. So I think he's probably going to have some sort of robotic devices that go out and mine ice particles out by the asteroid belt and bring them back to melt on the planet, so they have.
They're talking about. They think there's water on Mars. They're talking about drilling. They're talking about drilling for water on Mars. Not just that.
I think they're going to find out that they don't have enough water on Mars to do the job. I think they're going to have to go out.
You do know that just that one spot they found the other day, they estimated to be about 750 feet deep and something like 10 miles across.
Yeah, but is it water? Have they determined that yet? No, they haven't.
They have. It's brine. That's what they said. All you have to do is desalinate it. They've already said there's a ton of water on Mars. They're not arguing about Mars anymore. Mars has a lot of water, and then you've got both caps that are full of ice.
But if it's all brine, you're a Navy man. You've had desalinated brine water. It tastes like shit. Pardon my French, people.
Doesn't matter what it tastes like. It's all about keeping you alive while you're there.
Keep you alive. That's absolutely.
That's all it's about. And I imagine they'll get better and better at that, because I know the first desalinated water I ever drank, I like to gag. It was aboard a ship.
I would imagine if they're going to find and mine water there, they have to bring some reverse osmosis, filtering devices in order to get any bacteria out and to get particulate matter out, particularly like earth, dirt and rocks and shit. So it's a huge task that he's taken on by himself. Is $500 billion in net worth
He's
enough
not by himself. He's not by himself. That's another thing.
He's leading the charge, at least. So.
Yeah, but do you know how many partners he has in SpaceX? Do you even know who they are?
No, I don't.
They're all billionaires. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. They're all billionaires.
He's not doing it alone. He's got a huge team behind him, but he is leading the charge. I mean, and he is really the only one who is leading the charge. All the other billionaires are really just riding his coattails.
Bezos and him got a long ways to go, and so does Boeing. I mean, he's up there. But the thing of it is that they
Well,
were
they
talking
also
about that.
recycle P, Elon.
Yeah, and so what's that? No, so the neurochip was a very important part of what Elon needed. This allows so many things to be done remotely, or even if you're in the field, you could be sitting in. Let's say you don't want to wear a suit that day, so you hop in one of the things. You get in a little Jeep thing, and you pressurize it. You go on about your business, and you've got robots on the side that just pop off the side of the thing, go out and do around. You just you run them from the neurochip. That means no hand motion. It's all thought. And
Well,
that means
I think
you can
also
run.
the other main reason for the chip is like you said, it's for part of the space trip. They're going to have to be operated. They're probably going to be some human operators flying those things to and from the moon. So there may be some equipment they have to latch onto and couple with to get to the moon. So that chip will allow them to operate like the shuttle's crane arms and other external devices to expedite these jobs they're going to be doing in order to build space stations.
Plus,
And way
people,
stations.
there's a big side effect to it. If you have a missing limb, this is true bionics. They can hook it up to you now, put a limb on you, and control it through thought.
They have to put receptors on the stub.
I call it a
your arm.
Bluetooth. I call it a Bluetooth arm. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, no, I mean it's got
it's a little more advanced than that. Yeah, it's a little more advanced than that. But no, that for the neurochip, that's all. It's all broadcast. It's a form of telepathy almost. It's a strange thing. And
thank you, Eugenio. Eugenio, thanks for our conversation is getting crazy. But all of these things we're talking about, Eugenio, are for real things. I mean, we're not these bionics are
so yeah, we're at the Neuralink now.
70s.
Yeah, so we're at the Neuralink, guys. So think about it. We've been talking about all these things. He's been inventing ways to power, ways to clean water. He actually owns a company that helps do to clean it and desalinization. So he's already understanding what he's going to have to do on Mars. Then the next company he buys in 2016 is a boring company, and not just some little hole in the ground company. The ones that make them big, huge underground facilities. He has one of those companies now.
Yeah, one of the tunnel making company.
Yeah, it's called a boring company.
Yeah, they go this way, not that way.
His first project at the was at the Las Vegas Civics Convention Center. Actually,
he's got the plasma ones that it bores out a tunnel using plasma to melt the rock, and then there's teeth in it that break up the hot rock.
So just tells you how the guy's brain works. So he goes ahead and he builds these two tunnels with his boring company so that people can drive their Teslas back and forth.
What is Leah doing? You flying a spaceship there, Leah? Did you crash? She crashed.
She wrecked. So anyway, so the boring company, here you go. Now you got a way. Not only do you have a way, but he's practicing. He understands how to do this. So he can build underground now. He can go find the water if he wants to. He can build underground colonies. He can bore into the Olympus Mons. I mean, the man's really, he's smart because he's doing this before he gets there. Where if you went by NASA or China, any of them, they want to wait till they get there to do it. He wants to have it ready to go. He wants these colonies to be
that
really
boring
ready.
machine, is he got it operating by his robots, or is a human going to have to be up there and operate it?
I think in the beginning we run it. I think probably the first year, maybe not quite the full first year, you'll see robots doing everything because he's not going to want to risk it. But once he gets people on the ground there, he'll have the Neuralink set up in between, because you got to remember, even running it from Earth, I think it used to be a 15-minute delay, but I think they got it down now to like 8 or 9 minutes. But regardless, it's still a delay.
How are they doing that? Because it's still 8 or 9 minutes to make communications to and from the moon.
I don't know. I was always taught that it was 15-minute delay on Mars, but recently they were doing stuff there, and we were clocking. It was 8 minutes.
Maybe once he gets the Starlinks up there.
And you know what? You know what it is, though. I didn't even think about it. Mars is at different places, lined up with our planet at different times. So when it's at 8 minutes, it's probably at its closest proximity to us.
Right. Well, and probably also they're going to need a Starlink communication network around Mars to, site to, so we have site to site direct communication lines.
Well, we've got several satellites there now.
But they're not communication. They're not all communications. They have other
they're
things
all
going
communications. They're well, 4 of them are global surveyors, 3 of which brought rovers over there, but they're all communication satellites. And then I think NASA, not just NASA, I think some of the other countries decided recently, in the last 25 years, that every satellite goes up is going to have a communication package on board. Just because you never know, like 3i Atlas flying by.
Yeah.
You just never know when something in the old days, you couldn't even turn satellites really. They were pretty.
It was a huge task. But we were able to turn 3 of those satellites that are around Mars away from Mars to catch glimpses of 3i as it passed by the planet. So that was helpful.
One day we'll get to see all of them, maybe. Abby Loeb was asking just yesterday, why haven't they been released yet? Well, because the government's closed. Nobody can release them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it sounds like a giant conspiracy, but I don't think it actually is, but it sounds like one. No, it really does. So, but I mean, now he's got his Born machine, so he's got his neurochips, he's got all his low power systems. He's already knows how to build his electric cars over there. And like he said, when he's over there, he don't have to worry about design as much as he does function, because people aren't, in the beginning, nobody's going to really care if it's pretty. They're just going to want a bunch of solar panels on it so it drives for a long time. Not just its own power. They want it to be able to drive like a day or two. Without having to recharge.
That's sort of the bad thing about the electrical market right now, is that there is no infrastructure, and how long do those batteries last? Less than 300 miles, I think.
Most charge? Oh no, well, it depends. Some of them you can get 500-600 miles out of them.
Well, but then the faster you go, the quicker the battery runs out.
Yeah, but you're not going to be on Mars. You're not going to be doing high speed. That's not going to be the issue.
Oh yeah,
and you got to remember, there's going to be less friction on Mars. There's going to be less resistance pushing against the rover. There's going to be less gravity holding the rover down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people. So just don't go hitting no ramps at 35 miles an hour, because your ass might sail.
So that's another barrier. You're going to have to make those rovers heavier until the atmosphere and the gravity get us.
The battery will take care of that.
Well, yeah, but again, that takes away from payload. I mean, the more weight you put on something, the less payload of other things you can put on that same rocket.
Yeah, but you can still. I mean, they've got that down. I mean, come on, they're running 18-wheelers around, electric 18-wheelers now, so they've kind of got that under control now. So, and it's just going to get better as they go along. But a lot of what's Mars will actually probably start out as an electric society. There won't be any unless somebody
probably stay that way.
Fuels.
I would imagine.
Yeah, unless somebody found fossil fuels. And then they'll want to use them because it'll help cause the greenhouse effect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll help keep the atmosphere thick.
That's people.
But I mean, but are they going to find fossil fuels?
Well, I don't know. If what they say is true about Mars's beginnings, probably.
If they said that there's life on Mars, and they have, then there has to be. If it had any significant life like dinosaurs, there has to be some kind of
or oceans full of fish. They're thinking there was a lot. Well, recently they're pretty sure they found at least one fossil. It looked like some kind of rat to me. Who knows? It might have been in one of the Viking missions. It chewed its way out. Running around the surface of Mars, huh? No, it would have died from depression. No animals on Earth's going to live on Mars. Maybe some plankton or some stuff like that, but something flat maybe. It's not. So he's had this vision in his head on what he needs to be successful on Mars. And what bothers me is how many of us humans, especially Americans, don't even realize that he's doing this. Everybody just thinks, oh, he's trying to get rich. The fuck, he is rich.
He's already rich.
$500 billion. He's going to be the first trillionaire. I mean, it's not about money for Elon anymore. It's about what can I do. Elon, maybe, you know what? Maybe Elon's trying to buy his way into heaven. Maybe he figures if he helps humanity out and gets us off this planet and so keeps us alive from when Russia and Putin get into it. Well, you got to think about it. So look at Leah now. Leah's getting to be old now. She's like 80 or something. 85 or some shit like that. I forget now. It's like, but whoa, see, look at that, man. It's like 95 actually. So, but anyway,
I'll be 40. I'll be
Leah's
40
case,
in 10 days.
I was getting ready to
Yeah.
say she's just a baby, and a happy early birthday in case I forget because I'm old.
Happy
So Leah's
birthday.
40 years old, so she goes to Mars, say in 5 years. Okay, so right off the bat, any meds for anything high blood sugar pressure or any of that stuff she'll be able to get off immediately. Plus, just after 6 months, her spine will decompress. She will feel relaxed in a way she had never felt before. You'll actually be a full almost 2 inches taller on Mars. How you like that shit?
Well,
Yeah.
if you go out onto the International
inch
Space
and
Station or to
5
the
inches.
moon, you'll also grow about 2 to 3 inches because
Yeah.
you're not under the same gravity
It
as on
takes,
Earth.
I think they said it takes 6 months to decompress your spine, but I didn't think it was that long because I remember the astronauts, they weren't that much taller, but about a half inch or so. So I guess, if you're up there for about 6 months, it allows your spine to decompress. Well, we live in a gravity environment. On Mars, we won't have this gravity constantly pulling down on your heart and your liver and your lungs.
It's 1/5 the gravity, so it's there's 40%
So,
of the gravity is not
right off
on
the
you.
bat, right off the bat, if you've got like arthritis and stuff like that, most of that will ease immediately because you won't have the gravity constantly pulling your joints together. They won't be, and even when you're walking, they won't be rubbing together like they used to be. Your metabolism will slow down, so you'll live for much longer, and won't be in all that pain. Plus, and get this, you won't have as many wrinkles on Mars. You'll look younger. Yes, you will actually look younger.
Especially if your spine stretches 2 inches, all that extra saggy skin.
Yeah.
You might not be able to turn your smile off. Help me, I can't close my eyes.
Well, we get wrinkles because gravity's pulling our skin down. When there's no gravity, the skin's just going to go back out like it would normally do, just like a balloon. It would just stretch back up.
Everyone will look Chinese on Mars.
Also, Julio. I will look damn dashing like I always do. It's well, Mars has a lot of advantages for Earthlings, except for breeding purposes. In order to raise children on Mars, we will have to have 1G environment set up, or our kids will be born. After a couple of generations, there'll be severe mutations.
Well, there'll be malformations off the bat. Being in a less than 1G environment in the womb, the fetus won't develop properly.
No, you won't be able to. You'll have to be.
You'll have to be in a 1G environment.
They'll either have to set up a place down. Well, no, they can do it by turn. Even on the ground, they can just make something that turns. It's not. You don't have to go very fast. 2 or 3 miles an hour, it'll give you a G. They can do it in space too, but it would be better if they had a place where all that could be natural, done naturally, and then as a kid grows up, they could spend half their time in 1G and half their time not. Well, eventually we'll have to, if we plan on colonizing Mars forever, we may one day try to go for the mutation.
Or
to become
I think
true Martians.
Well, I don't even think we have to go that far. At some point in the very, very, very near future, we already know how gravity works. It works in waves, and we know that the gravity waves affect time, the space continuum, and light. They can bend all three of those other electromagnetic devices. So we may, develop, panels and platforms that we can build on the structures that generates a 1G environment within the, confines of the colony. Outside the colony, yes, again, you'll be going back to a 0.1/5 gravity situation, but inside the colony, we could easily at some point generate false gravity, and I think we're going to have that sooner than we will need to go out and.
We'll have artificial gravity pretty soon. Maybe 2 decades, maybe sooner. It's,
perhaps sooner. Well, we already technically have it, but it depends on when they decide to try it.
Well, they can. Okay, so, what's that, Chris? Well, no, they can do artificial gravity in a different way. They can put in light steel panels on the floors, magnetize your bottom of your boots, and you'll always be pulling when you walk. So you'll still get the kind of exercise your legs need, but it still wouldn't help out your internal organs because they would be attached. You need the 1G in the environment, so everything pulls down. It's actually good for bald people too. It makes their follicles grow. I didn't know that. The lack of pressure, yeah. I know. got a lot of good qualities. It's really for people who are going to be like 50 and older. Mars will probably, instead of dying at 70 and 80, you might live to be 100, 120. And yeah, still have a productive, healthy life.
So yeah, we may turn into it too if this goes the way we hope, and Elon doesn't go Drax out on us. We might be a 2-planet civilization where everyone on Earth lives from birth till 50, 55, 60. Then you transition to Mars and you live out the next 70, 80 years on Mars.
And then they shoot your remains out into the asteroid belt, where you can be scavenged by those things that live in the asteroid belt.
Yes, you'll be bait to
people
draw
know
the aliens away while we mine the good stuff.
If Elon Mars, see, I changed his name now. If Elon Musk gets to that asteroid belt and takes it over, he will be God on Earth. He will be worth.
No, he'll be God on Mars.
He on Earth too. No, because he'll be worth hundreds of trillions of dollars. He could buy the planet out from underneath everyone if he wanted to. Yeah. That's how much money that one asteroid is worth. You could buy everything on this planet, everyone out 100 million times over, and still have money left over.
There's enough gold there. I think they said
it's a ridiculous thing.
Every human being on the planet right now at their current weight to give them their weight in gold.
So like everything else in the beginning, everything's going to be expensive. But once Mars, after about 50, 80 years, it gets really established as, they'll start bringing all the rare earth minerals in from the asteroids and all the other minerals, and they'll start producing them right there on Mars. That way, anything toxic stays on Mars or gets tossed back out into the asteroid belt. It doesn't come here on Earth. Only the finished product does. And after a while, there'll be so much of the finished product, it'll start getting cheap. Asteroid boy, it'll take us a couple of thousand years to clean out the asteroid. Well, we'll say 1,000 years to clean out the asteroid belt. Mankind, once it gets going on something, is pretty good about wiping something out.
Yeah.
It should take 10,000.
We are a race of consumers. I don't know why anyone on this planet would even consider communism as a good way of controlling people. But we are a consumer. We are a capitalist type of creature. I mean, whether we have a government system or not, our modus operandi is to consume those resources around us, which we enjoy. And some of those are, precious metals. And there's a lot of it in the asteroid belt.
So, what's it, Chris? No. So don't forget, he bought Twitter. Now he bought Twitter to prove a point. One, that he could buy something $44 billion cash, which frankly was impressive. Secondly, though, to prove how our government was cohorting with the social media to keep the truth from us and lie to us and only give us certain truths. He bought it. He released the Twitter files. We all found out as a country that our government was up to no good. And what still bothers me about this a lot is how many liberals still were like, okay, well, we know they were doing this to us, but it was okay. Really? That you were okay with that? I guess because it was hurting conservatives more. Is that what that was about? I mean, I was confused by that. It's kind of like, what's his name in New York? Look, I'm all for giving anybody a fair shake, but it would be a hard one for me to do with him. First, he's communist. Secondly, he belongs to the people who blew up the Twin Towers. So I'd have a fundamental problem with that.
Yeah, I can't imagine if I was in New York, I would be ashamed to call myself.
Well, for this Friday, we'll be talking about this because there's been a lot of big companies and a lot of millionaires and billionaires are talking about what they might be doing. And Como,
I think we're going to see. Yeah, I forget who it was talking on one of the shows earlier this week or last week, but a great deal of the million-plus income families or people in New York City that make more than $1 million. There's 1 million of them say that they're going to move out. They're going to leave the city.
Yeah, they probably are. Jamie, no, we're gonna wrap because we got to go in a few minutes. But XAI was his next company, which is just another form of AI. He's into this AI because he needs this. If he's going to truly establish Mars as a place for us to go live, he needs this. We need this.
Yeah.
Of course, we just talked about Twitter, and then last but not least is SpaceX. So not only is he figuring out how to feed them, how to get the water, how to get the electricity, how to build, how to mine, how to go underground, he's building the rockets to take you there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one person. This is something. Whoops, what happened?
So he did exactly the opposite of what NASA did. NASA, when they did this same type of thing, they farmed out all of it. The robotics division, the rover division, just think about it. And then what they did was they had all these different companies bid on the different projects they needed to have done. And then they chose those companies and products that were the cheapest. So that means that they would be using the cheapest materials.
Yeah, that was doing
labor.
They didn't always do that, but that was their
And
fastest,
initially they did
era.
through the first three systems of Mercury and Apollo and all that.
No,
and Gemini.
Mercury and Gemini were assigned things. That's not the same thing. That's different.
But the people who
only
built
certain companies could do it. So
right
off the bat, you couldn't. How can I say this? It wasn't an open contract, is what I'm saying. Not anybody could bid on it. There's only certain companies that could bid on those jobs, and that was
exactly. But they still had several companies bid on several jobs that they picked the cheapest one. And Elon did it the other way around. He gathered all the types of businesses around him that he needed, robotics, electronics, light storage, all of that stuff. He's got it. He put NASA together with the conglomeration of companies that he owns.
He saved NASA's ass, is what he did.
Yes, and Boeing.
But the point is that they've always wanted to do it piecemeal, just like you were saying. But they're not the only ones. Russia, China, India, all of them do it that way. And he just came in, and I said this since I started hosting: make it, privatize the industry, and watch us go. So now, not only is he launching 91% of everything that goes into space worldwide, he's getting us to the moon and to Mars. And he announced yesterday about his new moon colony because NASA's fucking around, pissing him off. So he's going to go build a moon colony now. There's one thing about Eli. You make him mad, he goes and builds some crazy shit somewhere.
Yeah.
But the man is brilliant. And what he says he does. I mean, as long as he does it, you can hate on him all you want. But as long as he's doing what he says, it's going to be hard to really hate on him.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of steam behind him. He's way more advanced than even I think NASA is, and NASA's got access to some pretty fantastic technology if they were allowed into the Area 51 space vault.
So I know we got to go in a couple minutes, but so there's been a couple things come out from SpaceX recently. 2 different drives. One of them, the best way I could describe it, if you watch the series Expanse, there's a thing called the Epstein drive. Go watch Expanse, and that's pretty much what his first engine is. It's basically
is it ion.
It's basically an engine that is so efficient that it burns virtually no fuel whatsoever, and travels at speeds about as fast as whatchamacallit's traveling right now, at 140,000 miles an hour.
So is it an ionic drive? Ion propulsion?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's ion. I thought I had heard about a pulse drive that was an ion drive, and then.
Well, yeah, no. NASA did just come out with what they called a pulse engine, and it sounded, the way they were describing it sounded like the impulse engines on the Enterprise.
Well, the pulse engine, the ion pulse engine, has been around for a while. We've actually used it on two probes, and it does work well. But it takes time to build up speed. So, but if you were sending it to Proxima Centauri, you would get closer light speed by the time you got to Proxima, but you'd already be there.
It'd be time to slow down, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of a moot argument. Now, if you're going to go deep space, they're saying it's possible with the right types of ship that it could find itself well into the light speed ranges, 5, 6, 7 times.
Wow.
People don't understand. So you want to go to Jupiter at light speed, which I doubt you can even use that faster than light inside a solar system. But if you could, it would still take 2 years to get there. You want to go to Proxima, it still take 4 years to get there. It's still a long trip. So that means even at half light speed, it would take 8. We could. Those are doable trips by just making stepping stones along the way. All of that is doable stuff for us. But if you want to really travel in space, minimum is 10 times the speed of light. That's minimum. You know what I mean? Because at what? So at twice it would take you 2 years. At 3 times it would take you 1 year. At 4 times it would take you 6 months. At 5 times it would take you 3 months. At 6 times it would take you about a month and a half. At 7 times you'd be there in a couple of weeks. At 8 times you'd be there in about a week. And at 9 times, shit, you go, whoa, goddamn, we're already here. And that's
By
the real
the
difference.
time you turn the engine on, it's time to turn it back off because you're already there.
So, and that's great for deep space. And if you can go faster than that, that's even better. But for reality, if that's the kind of engines we're looking for, it's going to take us a while. But stepping stones is the way to go.
Yeah.
Because,
well, I mean, and we're also going to need, truck stops along the way, places to stop and repair, refuel, get out and rest, and
so the
stretch
plan
your legs,
is,
as it were.
so the original plan was, and last I heard, it's still the same way. So right down the middle of our solar system, it's like a cosmic wind that blows, and it helps satellites and all to pick up speed. They've been knowing about it for a while. And that's one of the reasons they want to build the launching platform in Zone L11. So you have a platform there, the moon base here, the Mars base here. You'll have a couple of platforms in the asteroid belt because you'll be mining and doing stuff. Probably by then you'll have one of the moons either on Saturn or Io or somewhere, or Jupiter will have a small base on it. So now you can run around the solar system. If you get in trouble, there's somewhere to go. So there's I can make it there, I can make it here, I can make it there. But more so than that, so when you leave Earth, you go to Mars, you refuel. You hit L zone, you refuel there. You shoot out to Jupiter, you refuel out there. You shoot out to the asteroid, to the Oort cloud, you refuel there. You got a base between there and Proxima, half light year out, you refuel there. Next stop is Proxima. You're there. Now, don't get me wrong, it's going to take you 5 or 6 years, but you're there, and it's doable because you don't have to make the trip all at one time. You can stop and rest and hang out places and do things. And refuel, get food, talk to people, get off the ship for a while. You know how it is on a long trip. Everybody's ready to get out the airplane or the bus or the train, man. Shit, give me a break. I need to go stretch my legs.
You're going to have capacities for certain things like the wastewater and toilet water and all that. So you're going to have places to stop to empty those things and refill on fresh water, potable water, and other.
So they were talking about gray water. They have it was on, what's that stupid, what was that sci-fi movie? Forbidden Planet. They had a disintegrator, right? So they were talking about installing a plasma drive on the thing just for disintegration of waste materials. But all the rest of the water will get recycled. Yeah. You'll drink somebody's pee 100 times.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it only goes so far. Eventually we'll get to the point where you won't be able to recycle out for everybody. You'll have to get more.
Well, no, because but that's the point. So you'll have your recycled water and you'll have your water brought on board. So that doubles the amount of water you have.
Yeah.
So the water that you're carrying inside of you, which you're basically acting like a tank, and then the water the ship's carrying, and the water that you have in storage, for drinking water, like bottled water and shit. So that would probably double, depending on how many people it was. Guys, we're going, unless we blow ourselves up. All of this we're talking about is going to happen. Everything we just talked about is going to happen, unless we blow ourselves up.
And essentially, I mean, you can't put any kind of weight behind these words, but according to a lot of the science fiction shows that were 200-300 years in our future, they all say that the catalyst for us becoming that advanced is World War III. So it seems like that's an inevitable thing that we have to get over that hump first. Once we jump that hurdle, then we're in Star Trek, Star Wars technology era, and people won't have to worry about money. Our economy will be based on a much different system.
Well, I think all that's going to change anyway over the next 50 years. I think you're going to see like a third of our society going assisted living, because even though we're advancing really quickly, I think in some ways we're going to advance too fast. So there just won't be jobs for some people. Or there'll be lottery. That's the whole thing about it, colonizing. Now, if we're in full-blown colonization like Moon, Mars, and other places, that won't happen because there'll be jobs everywhere because you'll be exploring. As long as like the Americas themselves, unless you're a Native American or a Mesoamerican, all the rest of us are explorers. We came from explorers, 500 million of us. So we'll all be willing to go and explore. And there'll be people in Europe and other places to want to go explore too.
Well, I mean, think about it. If we had a utopian society similar to Star Trek that was also socialistic, the money wasn't a thing. They didn't have money. They didn't use money. You could pursue whatever you wanted. You could spend your entire life.
But first you got to get there first. It's those 200 years in between. You've got to be able to be able to get there. So that's what I was talking about. If you put the world, or at least a third or more of the world, in social limit, but you give them a constructive life where it's not like poverty, then you can move everybody else forward together. And then as we start to colonize, a lot of these people can start going off world, and you give them incentives to go off world. You know, give them breaks, help them to get off world, and eventually they'll get off world. And as we're going along, we'll keep going. But I don't know if we'll ever reach a Star Trek type world. We'll probably be more like, I mean, space travel. We might reach Star Trek, but in the way we work, it'll be more like Babylon 5.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to go through a few stages. I think it's going to be more like Star Wars, Babylon 5 at first, the used universe kind of thing, where it's barter and trade and whatnot. But I mean, I think eventually it's going to become to the point where money and economy are completely different. We won't worry about those things, and then we'll have the more pristine, brand new crisp look of Star Trek, and we'll have you won't have to worry if you want to go through college and take every doctoral course there is. You'd be able to live long enough to do that, and you wouldn't have to worry about money to pay for those colleges because the economy would be different. But if you wanted to be an explorer, like Joe says, you want to be an archaeologist. I mean, the scope of what people really want to do versus what they're forced to do. I have a degree in video production. I work in warehouses. My brother has a degree in physics. He sells cars. So, we're not doing the things that we want to do. We're doing the things we're forced to do because the economy and what other things. Get the economy out of it, erase money and erase competition, or at least, monetary competition. And then what you have is a utopian, sedate society, very little crime, and people can do what they want as long as it's not illegal.
Yes. Well, we're going to see when we get there. Probably it'll take a lot longer than people would like, but first the planet's got to unite, and that's why I said Babylon 5, because in Babylon 5 the Earth is united. It's under has one president. They're all different countries, but there's just one president.
Yeah, but there's also a rogue faction as well.
Well, no, there's not a rogue faction on Earth so much, except for when the shadows came. But other than that, it was just Earth. They were just living there. You had the empaths, the telepaths, and then you had all the humans. But it was just Earth. I mean, they were just there, and everybody was living life, going to their job, doing whatever, eating dinner, traveling, having fun, going to all kind of other planets, going out to Babylon 5, hanging out at the station. It's the kind of society it was. They were just going around doing what they wanted to do, but they were still closer to the way we are today in attitude. Because the attitudes we have today is going to take a long time to shake.
Yeah, I agree. Another 100 years.
That's why first you have to be united, and then we all have to realize, we might be Russians or Americans or Chinese or Brits or whatever, but in the end, we're all Terrans, and that's really what counts. Because we all live in the same damn place. So one idiot can ruin it for all of us. So we just need to keep that and move along those lines. And that's what Elon wants. That's what he wants to be. In a way, I think Elon feels like him or one of his children is going to be to save your Earth. Because think of it this way. If World War III does break out and there is a Martian colony, everybody and their mama is going to be trying to get over there.
Mm-hmm.
And other countries, other factions like China and Russia might try to get over there just to keep an establishment. I don't know if
or to garner more resources and material and cash income.
Well, I don't know how Elon's going to deal with that, but I don't think the Chinese or the Russians would be happy.
I would imagine he's a silent partner in many weapons companies. Well, he's got some kind of weapon systems for those.
So
those trips.
Trump's going to be 80 in a year, less than a year. Elon is 52, I believe. So he's got 28
54.
years.
He's
26 years to catch up where Trump is right now with $500 billion. I can imagine what this guy's going to do.
He's 10 times richer than Trump.
And just think he can go to Mars at like age 60, 65 and extend his life and reach out and touch Earth all he wants. Remember, by then he'll probably have 40 children. He's already got, 15, 14?
Yeah,
14 he always seems to have like 2 at a time. I'm not sure what that's about. No, they're not twins. It's like he's catching up 2 girls at the same time.
He's got $500 billion. You don't think he has a harem somewhere?
Yes, I would have like 100 kids, man. Hell yeah. Because you never know which one's going to be the big kids are a pain in the ass, man. I think they're aliens, actually. I think aliens send their babies here for us to raise, and then they come get them.
Yeah. When they hit 18, that's when they get them, yeah.
They said, no, they probably wait till like 31 or something. That's what I'm thinking. Well, in today's world, if you're a millennial, I forget now, it's 14 or 18% still live with mom and dad. I'm not hating. And if you're a Z-Gener, I believe it's 22 or 26%. It goes up and down all the time.
Well, if you look at the
Things get
Europeans,
tight, it goes up.
yeah, if you look at the Europeans, that number is even higher. Most people, most children stay with the family until their 30s in some cases, especially the single girls, single ladies stay with their parents until they find a suitable suitor, and oftentimes they're home until their 30s. So, but we should be get going because we're 5 minutes to Michelle's time.
So what are you saying? We got to marry Leah off?
Yeah, it's time to marry Leah off.
The face says it all. Anyway, guys and girls, we really do got to get out of here because Michelle's on. We're 5 minutes into our time. Actually, I think she's been starting at 15. Leah, nice seeing you tonight. Don't be strange. This Friday is going to be a little crazy. Oh, Saturday, I almost forgot. We have a guest on Saturday. She's coming to hang out with us. We're going to be talking about the Pascagoula incident. She's got a new book out. You know what? Give me a second, and I will give everybody the information. Where is my email at?
The chat, Saturday at 7 Eastern time.
What's that, Frankie? What do you mean, like Frankie Valley? No, I never watched Frankie Valley. Why would you even ask me that? Look at my face. Do I look like a Frankie Valley fan to you? Come on. I mean, look at me. Yes, yeah. Oh, you mean Metallica? I'm a Metallica fan. Well, you know that.
They got some good songs, yeah. I'm not a fan of the musicians themselves. Some of them are kind of
no, because they're scumbag shitheads.
Hey, Joe.
We're gonna charge you for everything, man.
Joe, that was you. I made that AI picture you're using.
What AI picture I'm using?
The one of the alien drinking coffee.
Oh, did you? Well, some of the hosts had that up there. Well,
What?
Somebody put it up on the board. That's why I use it all the time.
Yeah, it's in the if you go to the change your avatar, it's in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone can use it?
Anyone that's on the board can use it, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, look here. Boom. I got it too.
Yeah, it's being used as an avatar right now.
That's perfect.
Okay, there y'all go, people. Dun, 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 dun. The new book, Pascagoula. Hey, stop moving. Pascagoula, the ultimate close UFO encounter, by Dr. Irene Scott.
Irina Scott.
She'll be joining us this. Well, it's weird she didn't get on the show. And if she's a good guest and everybody likes her, maybe we'll invite her onto this show. Well, because the chat's an open forum, so we can talk about whatever we want in the chat. It doesn't really matter. Well, last week we had the Chippendales on. Yeah.
The girls.
Oh, we did. We had the it was good. It was a good show, man.
Yeah. Oh, and don't forget this Sunday on Sean Kelly's show, he's got the gentlemen of the UPRN network. They're doing a brass pole Chippendales thing, fully nude.
Good.
$1 tip.
I can't watch Santa Claus strips. I won't be there, but I'm just saying, man. I can't watch Santa Claus strips. Maybe if I think of him at Dexter, but Santa Claus, no, man. It's just not gonna work. But anyway, we got to get out of here. I want to thank everyone again for tuning into United Public Radio and UFO Undercover. I really do hope you enjoyed the show. Of course, if you didn't, if you have a moan, groan, bitch, or complaint, you can write to Michelle DeRoche. She'll be more than likely lovely to hear you. Matter of fact, she's having a show right now. Why don't you go over and bitch right now? That would be the thing to.
But you can get on air and tell her how bad we were tonight.
That's right. On that note, guys, we will see. Jay and I will see you Friday. I think Sean's coming back with us. He's feeling better, so we might see him with us Friday night. And by the way, we still are looking for a good female host for that show. I know y'all girls are scared of us, but
who's on the flip side?
Good night, everybody.